Hello, best friends of the Kinda Funny community. My name is Kyle Stevenson, aka Who Dat Ninja 73, and welcome to episode 2 of Best Friends Talk Funny, a one-on-one Kinda Funny community podcast where we get to know a KFBF a whole lot better. Episode 1 was with the one and only Zyger, and it was super fun talking to him about how his name came about, and his love for Pokemon. That man loves Pokemon more than anyone in the history of mankind. And I love him. He's great. I hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, make sure you let me know if I need to improve on anything. I want to make this a quality thing. I want to make sure I'm not wasting your time. And don't yell at me because I'm saying that, because I'm going to say it until I get more comfortable doing this. I'm sorry if that's coming off antagonistic, but it's been a long day. For episode 2, I have the one and only super incredibly talented Mike Towndrow, the man who created this podcast music. I know Mike personally. I've met him in real life. We met a little bit over a year ago at a community meetup that I helped throw with Kelsey, his now girlfriend. If you don't know him, you might recognize him from the guy who did a full-on music video for his promposal for Kinda Funny Prom, and it was shown on the morning show. He's a great person to talk to. I love hanging out with him, and I hope you enjoy this episode. And without further ado, let's get to know a best friend.
Kinda Funny is best friends. What that means is we are there for each other. What that means is that you can go to any Kinda Funny live event. You can go to an RTX. You can go to a PAX. And if you see someone in one of our shirts, you can go up and talk to them. You can go to dinner with them. Kinda Funny is this.
Saying, Mike, that you didn't get a whole lot of snow today. Like, it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No, I mean, it rained in the morning, and then 2 o'clock hit, and it looked like Island of the goddamn Misfit Toys.
It's funny, because the first episode with Zyger, I had to re-record on the last Nor'easter we had last week.
The one on Friday?
Friday, yeah. So
that was fun also.
I guess I just record podcasts on Nor'easter days.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it didn't start coming down till 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it's been stopping every... Yeah.
Where is Zyger again?
Zyger's in California.
Oh, that piece of shit.
Yeah, so I don't think he understands what a Nor'easter is.
I don't think he knows what snow is.
No, probably not.
No, probably not.
So, Mike, for the people who don't know who you are, where are you from? What do you do?
I am from good old Yonkers, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why-o. I am a audio engineer, both freelance and working for the Jacob Burns Film Center, based in Pleasantville. Essentially, it's a non-profit film organization. I do a lot of the films for them. I do tech for them. I mix a lot of stuff, and through that, I get a lot of freelance. Like, I got a couple films that were shown at Sundance recently. Something like coming up. I don't know when this is posting, but something's getting shown at South by Southwest, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of projects?
Anything from like really weird stop motion animated films about pregnancy scares to educational films about the Beatles to just weird Jewish film festival ads. I'm kind of like all over the place. Wow. And occasionally like hardcore hip hop and weird punk rock, and yeah.
So pretty much everything under the sun. If they ask you to do it, you'll do it.
Pretty much.
How'd you get involved in all that stuff?
Just I guess it was back in high school, like just really connecting with like some like certain kinds of bands, certain kind of music's getting into like punk rock and stuff, and getting into pop punk. And then just think we're gonna talk about it later, but hearing like a certain record and just being like, how the hell did they make that? How does that guitar sound that way? How does vocal sound that way? And just this whole world just fucking opening up.
Yeah.
And fast forward like a year later, I'm like, I bought a like Costco branded drum kit, and I'm using a Rock Band microphone to try to get like a drum sound that can kind of sound okay-ish, but spoiler alert, it didn't.
Were you like a kid in high school that did like the music instruments and stuff?
Yeah, it probably like really kicked in around like sophomore year. For freshman year, I was a super quiet kid. I really kept to myself. I like K through 8, I really got bullied a lot. I mean, as
Same.
I'm sure, like like all of us have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this community is kind of about. How we all connect.
Yeah.
So I had my guard up in high school, at least freshman year, and then again, music really helped open that up. I mean, I got my first guitar, I guess my sophomore year, like this really shitty like $100 Strat. And then there was like, I think for one of my religion classes, like the teacher was like, "Hey, bring something that means a lot to you," and I brought the guitar, and they wanted me to play in front of the class, and it's an electric guitar that you can't hear shit, and loud kid, so I'm like sitting in front of the class, really embarrassingly playing all the small things, and
for religion class.
For religion class,
that's awesome.
You know, really big religious band, Blink-182 too.
Yep.
Yes. So it was like that kind of moment where like, and that playing that in front of that class was like kind of the first time I was like with a guitar playing in front of people, and I felt totally fine. Like it just felt natural. And like freshman year, I went from like, I kind of want to be a marine biologist, to sophomore year being like, nah, I'm gonna do music and probably throw my life away, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, when I was in the same place you were, my whole dream was to be a video game tester.
Hell yeah. Until you figure out what that job was.
Exactly. And when I heard horror stories of like all the shit you had to go through, I'm sure it's fun and all, but the pressures that are on you to play the shit out of the same thing all the time, make sure it doesn't break. I was not aware of that. When young naive me be like, oh, I get to play all these brand new games early and from start to finish, and I just write down things that mess up. Sure,
dude, great. Grandma's boy, the dream job.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that's like one of my dream jobs growing up was working at GameStop, and sure enough, one day I got that job. It's not a great job.
Me and you both.
Oh, you worked at GameStop?
I did work at GameStop.
What were you, like SGA, GA?
Just a regular GA. Yeah. It was my third job, so I was.
Oh my god, dude!
I would substitute teach it all day. Yeah, I'd go work after school with kids and do homework help. And then I'd go to GameStop till like 10 o'clock at night, and then do it all over again.
Do the walls, do the trades.
I'm so seeing those walls when I walk in.
Oh my god! Me, like, and just like the PTSD. Stack behind the counter, and
yeah. And I don't know for you, but my manager would leave all that shit like for 2 days for me to come in.
Oh yeah,
she knew I was coming in, and it'd be insane to try to get through that all.
Dude, yeah. I was lucky where my manager was super cool. We were like best friends right off the bat, but the DM was a fucking prick. Mm-hmm. Also, can I curse on here?
Of course you can.
Cool, because I'm a roadie and I have a filthy fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the DM was a prick. I'm not gonna name names or anything, just in case. Yeah. But the dude would like purposely like lie about like coming in for visits and like make us like clean the room. He would make us stay until like 4 a.m. some nights, clean the back room and stuff. And like,
My first, I had better managers after my first one, but they all mysteriously got moved, or like they just left, and we were stuck with awful people. Yeah, but go ahead.
I was gonna say GameStop is kind of like the CIA in that way. That just like people disappear.
Exactly, they'll just move you to another location. Witness Protection Agency.
Yeah.
But my first manager would be like, it'd be November, it'd be midnight for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, go outside and wash the windows. I'm like, it's November. Why the fuck am I doing that?
I had to go. So my GameStop that I worked at was right next to a Kmart, and it was like in like a strip mall or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they had to make you pass out, like they made you pass out flyers and like fucking 50% trade-in, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there was a Kmart next to it. I would just go in the Kmart, ditch the flyers, and just look at the DVDs.
Yep.
And just, like, try to kill as much time as possible.
Yeah. There was another time, the same manager, I wasn't even working. I walked in to, I think, pick up my copy of Call of Duty that year.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, we're out of singles. Can you go run to nearby stores and try to see if you can get change?
Yep, that was, yeah.
So I'm driving all up and down the street going to Target, and I think I even hit up a Wendy's in CVS.
Hell yeah.
They're like, no, this is a weird request.
Yeah.
We're not going to exchange money.
So the sketchiest thing, I obviously was a GA at first, then I got promoted to SGA, Senior Game Advisor. Once you hit SGA, you have to, like, handle, like, the money and, like, the safe and counting and taking the money to the bank, opening, closing. Taking the money to the bank is the sketchiest fucking thing in, like, downstate New York.
Yeah.
Especially, like, the Yonkers area, like, Bronxy area.
And I'm sure it was worse for you. For us, the bank was right next to the GameStop.
So it was for us also, kind of. It was, like, there was, like, the strip mall area, but it was across the parking lot. But, like, that parking lot got super sketchy.
Yeah.
And I looked way less intimidating back then. Hence, like, the shaved head now and the tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
It helps my persona, which is all front.
I'm sure it was worse, like, on Black Fridays.
So
like
our Black Friday... Dude, our Black Friday was, like, dead. I only worked one Black Friday.
Okay.
It was dead all day. I worked the overnight, and overnight until, like, 12 a.m. till, like, 10 a.m. or something. And then back again for 7 p.m. to close, I guess. Something like that. It was fucking dead. Christmas Eve was a train wreck.
I used to hate seeing my name on Christmas Eve.
Oh, my God.
Because that's such, like, a family thing for me. And having to be dragged into a place where people are rude and won't take no for an answer. Like, if they say, oh, can I get Mario on PlayStation? I go, no, you can't. It's not a thing that I can make happen for you.
Say yes and give him a Little Big Planet.
I should have.
He was like, yeah, sure.
There was one time a guy got so mad. It was Battlefield Hardline on PS3.
Classic.
Yeah. He walked in. He bought it the day before or something, and he didn't like it. And you know the whole policy. You can't return a new game, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm giving him the whole policy, being super nice to the dude. And he just takes the disc out of the case, puts it in front of my face, and snaps it. And it goes everywhere. And he goes, how fucking dare you say I can't return that game? I just bought it yesterday. And I'm just standing there like, I'm sorry? It's our policy.
Like, I don't know what to do now.
I thank God, there was a long line, so thank God, like, no shrapnel went in people's throats.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. But,
I mean, I tend to, like, especially towards the later, like, quarter of that job, I ended up, like, just not giving a shit. I would straight up tell people, like, hey, Best Buy has a better deal on a PS4. You could just go down the street.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
I've heard from, like, because for people who don't know, the managers do go to, Vegas each year for the GameStop conference or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's told me that every other employee from all states outside New York love the company and, like, love working for it, and, like, it's the greatest thing in the world. New York GameStop, fuck that place.
Yeah, it's like, not great.
No, it's not a great place.
Yeah. But hey, if you're looking for a job, GameStop isn't all that bad.
GameStop.com/careers. Power to the players.
So before you really got into music, like in high school and stuff, did you go to a lot of concerts? Like when you were younger?
My first concert was in 2008, so I was in high school at that point.
Okay, what was the first concert?
The Bamboozle Festival in New Jersey.
All right, and who was playing?
Appropriate reaction. So it's going to be related to what we talk about later, but my favorite band played Say Anything. Finch, All Time Low. I'm trying to think of who I saw. Damn. Coheed and Cambria headlined.
I know them.
You do know them. Panic at the Disco headline. That was like when they were first starting.
I'm a big Panic fan.
So they were fucking terrible back then.
Oh, back then? Sure, yeah.
Like, that album is, like, fucking incredible. A Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
Yep.
But Brandon could not sing for the life of him live. Like, it was all studio stuff, and it was heartbreaking. I was like, ugh, guess we're leaving early today.
Have you seen them live past then?
No, I want to see him recently, because he's a hell of a performer now.
Yeah, I've seen them, I think, twice. And each time I've seen them, they were incredible.
Yeah. Yes, because he kicked out the band. Now it's just pretty much him.
Pretty much. My first concert is embarrassing, Mike. I'm a little ashamed to say what it is.
Okay.
It was freshman year of college. I saw the opening act was Chevelle, which I love.
Okay. It's a good start.
It's a great start. But the headliner was Nickelback.
Fuck yeah, Nickelback. Look
You're
at that
Nickelback
photograph. No, but
Oh. Damn it! I'm so bad at reading sarcasm, and damn it! I thought I had a Nickelback fan with me.
Shout out to Photograph, obviously.
Yeah.
Shout out to, is it Hero that's on Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 1?
I think so.
I for whatever fucking reason, I went through a Spider-Man rabbit hole, a Sam Raimi Spider-Man rabbit hole where I was just looking at the music videos. Mm-hmm. So it was like that, Dashboard, and whatever they did for 3. But nobody remembers 3.
No.
And just like those like early 2000s music videos where it's like Dashboard playing in like the Doc Ock scene, and then it just they turn all like comic booky, and it's like a panel. It's like, ugh. Thank God we're not in that time period anymore.
That wasn't one of my prouder moments.
I mean, it's a good. That's like, how old were you? Or like, what year was it?
I was a freshman in college, so fall of 2005.
As long as it's before 2010, you're fine. That's an epic ass concert.
That's like the line.
Yeah, 2010.
Okay,
that's when it's like not cool anymore.
I feel better. So I know you a little bit. You go to music shows all the time.
Tad. I do.
So what is the best show you've ever been to?
That's a hard fucking question.
I know you went to Chicago recently, right?
Yeah, was Chicago
Riot Fest.
Yeah, so since 2000, I want to say 2011, I've been doing Chicago every year. 2011, 12, and 13 were for Lollapalooza. My first Lollapalooza was like religious experience, and then I guess I just got hooked. And then 2014, I got kind of burned by the lineup. Lollapalooza does this weird thing, not like any other festival, where they sell the tickets, let's say, on a Monday in like April, and then that next Tuesday is when the lineup comes out. So like Monday tickets, Tuesday lineup. But the problem is the tickets sell out so quickly that you have to go in on faith and blow like $500. Mm-hmm. So one year I did that in 2014, and the lineup sucked, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And then I discovered Riot Fest, and Riot Fest is essentially my iPod in live form.
Yeah,
I don't have an iPod anymore, but it relates to the story. I do have an iPod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just this like really sick blend of pop punk, punk rock, hip hop, indie, alt, sometimes reggae, and it's just like, it's like the weekend of my life where I feel I could totally let go. I could totally reset. Like the stress of the year just like gets me so much, and just like just let loose for a weekend until I have to like catch a red eye that Monday to work an event on like that night.
Yeah.
But favorite concert, probably the first time I saw Blink-182.
How many times have you seen them?
I want to say 10.
10 times? Okay.
Probably. This was post reunion where like Tom was shitty.
Oh, okay.
Not God rest his soul. He's still alive. His voice is dead, but he's still alive. Recently I saw Gorillaz in for their album release show for the new album at Rough Trade in Brooklyn, which is a record store, and they have like a mini venue in the back, and the venue holds like 150 people.
Yeah.
And Gorillaz sells out like arenas and like Madison Square Garden and stuff. So I got to Brooklyn at like 1 a.m., stood in a line from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. to get a ticket, and then went home, showered, napped for 25 minutes, and went back to Brooklyn to go to the show. And it was like,
Now, I'm always curious when it comes to the Gorillaz.
Yes.
Were they, like, was it holograms performing? Or the actual band was there?
So, depending on the album, they go through different phases with their live show. So, like, before Plastic Beach, it was all just the screens, and they were behind actual, like, television screens or projectors or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I remember from Demon Days, right?
Yeah, and Demon Days, they were just behind screens, and you just see the silhouettes with the cartoons playing.
Yeah.
And then the first time I saw them was on the Plastic Beach tour. They headlined Madison Square Garden with NERD, which is dope.
Sweet.
Yeah. and it was just full orchestra, like 2 drummers, full string section, like 4 guitarists, including I can't think of him. Classic guitar player, whatever. Insert name here. And yeah, it's just like a friggin' 3-hour set, just playing like their entire career. It's like, oh, so good.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I need to get back to a concert. I haven't been to one probably a decade.
you got a friend that goes like every week.
I know. One of the dream bands that I want to see live is
what's your bucket list? Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Dude, they're playing in July. Let's go.
I'm down. Let's do it. Yeah,
So,
Foo Fighters for sure. Muse is another one.
Yes. They just played this past summer. I think they're playing a festival in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Coming up. So that first Lollapalooza was the first time I saw Foo Fighters. Literally cried.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure that will be me.
Sobbing.
Yeah.
And like, it's so. It was the most like. So I said earlier the religious experience. All day Lollapalooza. It was like a beautiful day. And then I went to the main stage early because I knew I wanted to get a good spot for not Gorillas, fucking Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And it was the Cars, Arctic Monkeys, and then Foo Fighters.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Lollapalooza back then was legit.
Yeah.
So Cars played. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Fun fact, they don't play with a live drum kit anymore. It's all electric. It's weird. It's really weird.
That's a shame.
Yeah. And sometimes they're like, if drummers would know this, but like if you hit the drum in the wrong spot, it doesn't trigger the sound. So like there would be times where there's just no snare or no hi-hat. It's just weird. But then between Cars and Arctic Monkeys, it just started downpouring. So they delayed the show obviously a little bit, and then Arctic Monkeys came on. They killed it. It eventually stopped raining like in the middle of their set, and then they got off, had to wait for Foo Fighters or whatever. Foo Fighters gets on, and they open with Burning Bridges from Wasting Light.
Yeah.
One of my favorite albums. I think it's a perfect album.
I agree.
Oh my god. So that song starts with the like really tinny guitar, like, and then the drums, and then it just fucking kicks in. I shit you not. As soon as it kicks in, downpour, thunder, downpour.
I'm getting chills.
Oh my god! And then it was raining, pouring the whole set, but it was incredible. And then off Wasting Light, they play in the middle of the set. They play Arlandria. That's
my favorite song on the album.
So, as you know, in the middle of that song, the bridge is "Rain, Rain, Go Away, Come Again Some Other Day." I think. The fucking thing, the bridge comes up. Dave is like, "Shh, look around you," and it stops raining. I swear to God. And he's
That's
like,
incredible.
And he's like, fucking perfect, isn't it? And that's when the tears start. And then he sings the line, and it's a beautiful night. And then, of course, they close to Everlong, and that's where my heart breaks.
Yeah.
And I was alone for this scene this whole time. I lost my shoes, so I was barefoot during the festival. I was alone. I had to walk through fucking Grant Park and then down that main strip or whatever, just barefoot, going back to the hotel room.
Oh, I'm sure you had like a shit-eating grin on your face the entire time.
Yeah. Around that area, there's like a college dorm room where they like rent out the space during that. Because why wouldn't you rent out space during the biggest festival of the year? Make all the money you can. So during that period, there are students that stay there also. So just like I'm in the elevator with a bunch of like Chicago students, and they're all like kind of shit talking me and like how much they hate the tourists and the festival goers. I was like, hey man, whatever. I'm having a better time than you.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you do tonight?
Yeah. I actually own 2 of the Foo Fighters live concerts on Blu-ray.
Which ones?
One of them is the one at Wembley.
Oh my god, that's such a good one.
I put it on every once in a while, like as background.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
So good.
The other one, I can't remember which one it is, but it's equally as good. Like I'd rather grab the Wembley one because that one is like
that one's perfect,
spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Foo Fighters is up there. Muse is up there. I would love to see Metallica.
I have not seen Metallica. They're on my list.
Yeah, Metallica would be awesome.
They just announced. I was gonna say Metallica just announced that tour, but are they hitting New York?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, you look that up. my list is kind of short because I kind of saw everybody I want to see.
Yeah.
Metallica's on there just because, like, I'm not like the biggest Metallica fan, but singles and whatever. This is gonna sound depressing, but Linkin Park was on my list.
Yeah, that was on my list too.
And I had tickets to Blinkin Park.
Yep.
At Citi Field, and
Yeah.
that was a fucking week after it happened.
So sad because
Dude, like,
this will play into what we're talking about later, but
Yeah.
Linkin Park was such a huge part of me as a high schooler.
oh yeah,
Middle school, high schooler. Like, that news of Chester passing was so depressing.
it's like a lot of celebrity deaths don't really hit me, but that one like tore me the fuck down.
Sure.
I was at work when that news broke, and like I had to like lock myself in the studio and just give myself a minute.
I need to eventually find the time to watch Mike Shinoda's little EP he did.
It's great.
Is it great?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard, but I just need to find the time. I'm
You-
sure it's
Yeah.
I'm sure it's deep, and I need to be in a good state. But
Oh my god, yeah, it's so good. Those are the only two I could think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm like missing somebody huge. I mean, there's always gonna be things like, again, like people who passed, like Prince or Bowie or anything like that. It's just like,
if Freddie Mercury is still around.
well, yeah, there's always like
sure.
dream things like that will never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess those are the biggest two. I know, like in 20 minutes, I'll be like, oh, Jessica Simpson, but
Yeah,
you know.
no, of course, or Ashley Simpson.
Ashley.
That's on mine. That's on mine for sure. I wouldn't even mind going to see a JT concert.
Oh
I'm
my
sure
god,
he puts
yeah,
on one hell of a show.
dude, have you? I want to kind of relate to that. I kind of want to see Janelle Monáe now.
Oh, hell yes!
Have you heard those new songs?
I have not heard the new songs, but I like her older stuff or her older stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like ridiculous. So this new album was being produced by Prince, and like, it's a fucking Prince record. And I can't imagine like the type of shows that she puts on.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Bruno Mars. I want to see Bruno live.
Fun fact: I saw Bruno a very long time ago before he was anything.
Really? And how was he back then? Compared
So
to now?
he was incredible. So it was again at that Bamboozle Festival. Man, like 2011. Yeah, their last one was 2012, so probably 2011. The headliners were Motley Crue and Lil Wayne.
Whoa. Okay, that's
Yeah.
diverse right there.
Dynamic duo.
Yeah.
And the co-headliners were Bruno Mars and A Day to Remember.
Okay.
So you would think that, so usually like the co-headliner would open up for the headliner, obviously. Bamboozle had two main stages. So naturally I thought like, oh, I'm going to chill for A Day to Remember and just hang out for Motley Crue. It's going to be great. But they ended up, I guess to empty out the stages, they ended up having Bruno open up for Motley Crue and Day to Remember open up for Lil Wayne. Because I guess they want people to like leave and like kind of like clear the space.
Yeah.
So I wanted a good spot for Motley Crue, so I was like, screw it, I'll just hang out, watch this guy, and get a good spot.
Yeah.
And he was fucking awesome. Just like him, no like crazy lighting setup or anything, just like him, his band, with a guitar, fucking killing it.
Oh, yeah.
Similarly, I saw Katy Perry a couple years before that, before she was anything at Warped Tour.
Yeah. And what kind of show does Katie put on?
Back then, it was like an indie rock band.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just her with a guitar singing. Like, this is when I Kissed a Girl was either just coming out or just came out, because it was like, she on stage, she's like, I'm gonna play a new song for you, and it was that. I miss indie rock Katy Perry a lot. And like, ugh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like weird pop stars mixed in my like concert history. Like Kesha, I saw twice
Okay.
accidentally.
How do you accidentally see Kesha twice?
Again at this Bamboozle festival.
Oh, Bamboozle.
I wanted to see Motion City Soundtrack, and so I waited. I like found a spot amongst the little tweens,
Yeah.
and just waited.
You saying Motion City brought up another dream one of mine that I don't know if it'll ever happen. It's My Chemical Romance.
Oh my god,
I would
They need a-
fucking love to see them live.
Where is our reunion tour?
Right?
Come on, Gerard.
On the way to work a couple days ago, the Black Parade came on shuffle.
Another perfect record.
Yep, and I blasted that thing. I had put the windows down, and it was like 30 degrees outside. I needed everyone around me as I'm driving down the street to hear this.
Dude,
it's so good.
The second track on that record, Dead, was the most played track on my iTunes library when that album came out. I think it had like, before my computer crashed at that point or whatever, it had like 300 plays.
Oh yeah.
With records, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but my favorite thing is transitions and how that album opens up, like the end to Dead.
Yeah. It's so great. Good. I like the little things that they put in there to make it like cohesive.
Oh yeah, it's so like just epic and theatrical, and it's their best record.
So besides music, Mike.
Yes, hi.
Yeah.
What else?
I know you're a big movie fan.
I am.
And before we get into that, like, how do you find time being a super creative and talented dude and watching movies, playing games, listening to all this music? How do you find time to do all this?
There's this beautiful thing that God created called Monster Energy. Monster Energy, having an uncomfortable bed so you get discouraged to sleep. Mm-hmm. And just accepting that you're always being in pain and tired.
And then you listen to the music to get rid of the pain.
Exactly.
It's like a cycle. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I literally, the movies up until recently, like, working at a film center helps.
Yeah.
Where, so my job is two buildings, where the building I work at is essentially a school and production facility, and we have another building that's an art house movie theater, where I've seen, this past year, I think I saw every Best Picture nom, and, I mean, so,
this is actually perfect timing. What did you think of the Oscars?
That's
fine.
Did
you watch them?
Oh, yeah. I watched them. I screamed at the TV. It was great.
Any people that won you didn't think should have?
This is going to sound really cliche, being that we talked about music for a half hour.
Yeah.
Nolan should not have won any of those sound categories. Nolan does not know how... granted, he's not the one behind the board or whatever, but Nolan's direction towards the sound people is totally off, and all of his movies, to me, sound like shit.
I'm guessing Baby Driver is what you wanted?
So I wanted Baby Driver for editing, and I wanted Blade Runner for mixing.
I would have liked that.
Because Baby Driver, I can understand why Baby Driver wouldn't get the mixing, but the way it's edited, the way all the action set pieces are set to the music, the way that there is that high pitch ringing throughout the entire movie, depending on if he has headphones on or not, is brilliant. That was the coolest creative thing that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
How the music is always playing once he has his headphones on, and depending on what headphone on he has, it pans left or right. How the fuck are you not gonna give that to Baby Driver? Come on.
Yeah.
But no, everything. The people like things loud and obnoxious and fucking white noise, and Tom Hardy barely audible again.
No,
gotta fight this plane.
I haven't watched Shape of Water yet. I missed it in theaters.
What do you got against Fish?
I got nothing against Fish. I wanted to see
sound like
it. Mike, don't come on my show and start yelling at me about my hatred of fish, because it's not true.
Is it just fish men or fish women that you don't like?
Oh man,
Fishman.
Mike, Fishman.
Fishman.
I like all fish.
Mr. Fishman.
I like all fish species.
Well, fish is the species, so you purposely just avoided gender, so you do have a problem with one of them.
Oh God, I hate you. You're gone. I'll finish this episode myself.
Thanks, guys.
But is The Shape of Water deserving of the Best Picture?
So all the categories this year, or all the noms this year, none of those blew my mind.
Okay.
Shape of Water is good. And I'm happy in the fact that a fucking video game nerd won for a monster movie.
Absolutely.
About fish fucking.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. My pick out of those noms, my pick was either Get Out or Lady Bird.
Okay.
Just because I really wanted to see Jordan or Greta win over any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really not to... I am a white male, so I can't really have a say in this, but I think it's super important that a woman or a black male should, or a black person should win those kind of awards. That's why once they gave Jordan screenwriter, I was like, oh, fuck, all right, fine. I mean, at least he got something, but for like that was the mark where it's like, fuck, you're not gonna get best director, even though you totally should have.
Absolutely.
Same with Greta, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, my personal pick was Get Out, because Get Out was my favorite movie of last year.
I think
that movie.
Out of that list, Get Out is the best movie that selection.
Absolutely.
I
did see something funny though.
Yeah.
That somebody said, wouldn't it have been awesome if Keegan Michael Key was on stage with Jordan Peele accepting the speech, and he was doing his Luther.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
That would have been fantastic.
Did you see those pictures of him like backstage or whatever, just freaking out for his friend?
Yep.
Oh my god, so good. What should have been nominated and should have absolutely won was Florida Project.
You've told me to watch it, and I bought it. I haven't watched it yet.
Bastard. Watch it.
Sorry, I'm a busy man, Mike. I don't drink Monster Energy. I don't have the time to do that.
You could get a 24-pack on Amazon for $48.99 on Prime.
Jesus Christ. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
There's
literally a 24-pack under my desk at work.
Your room is filled like the kind of funny offices with LaCroix right now, but you're
just different flavors of Monster Rehab. Ironic title. But no, Florida Project totally got snubbed for like almost all the categories, especially Best Supporting Actress. One of the little girls in that film is like just breaks your heart and is so phenomenal, and it's just like totally believable. And you just want to like reach into the screen and like give her a hug.
Yeah. So here's an impromptu question, Mike.
Yes.
Let's say you take all of the Best Picture winners of the last 5-10 years.
Sure.
What is your favorite out of the recent winners?
Do you have a list?
I can look it up. I just know what mine is off the top of my head. So
I forgot. I know last year was Moonlight.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, the answer's probably going to be Moonlight.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, you got to remind me what the other ones are.
I should have had this ready before I said it.
Look up noms, look up the noms, look up noms, look up the noms.
Oh, I couldn't find out when Metallica was coming around.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I know they're not hitting San Francisco, so I wouldn't be surprised they're not hitting New York.
All right, so obviously we got Shape of Water this year, Moonlight last year.
Yes.
Spotlight 2016.
Oh, right.
Birdman 2015.
Ooh.
12 Years a Slave 2014. Oh, it's not letting me go back anymore.
Was that 5? That was 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shape of Water, Moonlight, Spotlight, Birdman. 12 Years a Slave.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen 12 Years a Slave because I'm racist. No. Totally joking. It's either Moonlight or Birdman. Probably okay. Moonlight. Moonlight is just beautiful, and the performances are incredible. The music is fucking heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. Coming back to Janelle Monáe, that's when I developed my insane crush on her.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the little boy in Moonlight, or like the first act of Moonlight, is in Black Panther.
Yes, he is.
That's
basketball
really cool
court, right? At the end?
Yeah. It's like, hell yeah, kid.
Yeah.
Be a thing, please.
My favorite best picture of that list is Spotlight.
Spotlight is phenomenal.
I saw that in a theater by myself.
Yeah.
And just because I heard it was great, it was nominated for the Oscars, because AMC does that thing where they release all the nominees leading up to them. I was like, well, let's see what it's about. I was the only one in the theater, and I was so engrossed in that story about a newspaper outing these awful Catholic priests.
Oh, it was so good. It was just so well done.
Everyone was put in a great performance. It's so good.
And it's funny, like, seeing the post, and it's like, oh, Spielberg, you're just trying to do Spotlight.
I haven't seen the post. I want to, because I like Spotlight so much.
See, but like out of those 5 alone, like the 4 previous behind Shape of Water are just on a different level. Like those are like obvious, like phenomenal films, and Shape of Water is like good, but
yeah.
And I love Guillermo. Like, give me Hellboy 3, but
could you imagine if Hellboy 3 is Best Picture nominated.
Dude, I had this discussion the other day. I think not Best Picture, but I think Black Panther can potentially get like an actual nom, not just like visual effects or sound design or whatever, like like the category that Star Wars gets every year.
Yeah, I would hope so. It deserves it,
like something
as of right now.
At least cinematography. Like, give Rachel that cinematography knob.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It
was good that Roger Deakins finally won.
Yeah.
It's about damn time.
Was it 13?
14.
God.
Yeah.
And like looking at that list of what he got nominated for, it's like, how did you not win?
Yeah, especially
for any of those.
Especially for Sicario. Like, that's one of my favorites.
I mean, all the like production stuff that Blade Runner got, so much deserved. Like, I was not a big fan of Blade Runner.
Okay.
It just wasn't for me. But production wise, sound design wise, visually, it was flawless.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got all the technical stuff.
Yeah. What kind of games do you like to play, Mike?
Anything, man.
Anything
except like sim golf games, I guess.
Okay. All right. What are you playing now?
Right now I just finished Moss.
I'm close to the end.
Where are you?
I'm trying to think of what the puzzle is. Where you have to control one of the fire shooting bugs and open the gate to raise. I don't know where. It's chapter 4 or something.
You're describing the entire game.
I know I am. That's why I stopped myself. I was like, I think it's chapter 4 or so.
Are you still inside a temple?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're like halfway.
Yeah, I love it though.
Dude, it's so good.
I was talking about it on my PlayStation show, The Trophy Room, with Mr. Badbit.
Like, subscribe, share.
Yeah, do
Please.
all those things. It might be my favorite VR experience and game.
It's funny because like every time I play a new VR thing, I take off the helmet. Helmet? Yeah, I guess helmet's the right term. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. And I'm like, shit, that was my favorite VR experience. Mm-hmm. Like last time, like the time before this was Super Hot VR. I was like, damn, how could anything top this? And before that was the Battlefront X-Wing mission. It's like, damn, how can anything top this?
Yeah.
It's nice to see that dev studios are still sticking with it and just keep topping each other. And it just makes me really excited for like the coming year.
Yeah. I got Bravo Team today.
Oh, I forgot that came out.
And I got the aim controller.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to be testing that out, see how that feels.
Is that the what's the Until Dawn studio? Supermassive. Is that Supermassive?
Maybe.
Because I know Supermassive has a shooting one, but I forgot if it was Bravo Team.
Yeah, because they showed it off at E3, right? It was part of the sizzle reel or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Or PSX. It's one of those.
And then while you look that up, I finally started up Neo last night.
Okay.
Because I've been itching to go back to Bloodborne, even though I don't need to. I have so many other things to play. Mm-hmm. But I figured Neo would scratch that itch. So far, so good. I only got to the tutorial stuff because I wanted to go back and before Jessica Jones comes out tomorrow, I want to blaze through Punisher, which I just did. Which
I realize is coming out tomorrow, and I got super excited.
Can't wait.
It is Supermassive making
okay.
Bravo Team.
Oh, the other one is Firewall. That was the PSX one.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta let me know how that is.
But you brought up Bloodborne. I'm excited to finally actually try it.
Ooh, you never tried it.
I mean, I played maybe an hour.
Okay. That's not really playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
that
really game...
put an hour in anything.
Yeah, that game just kicks your ass for an hour. And, like, you just want to fucking kill yourself. So, yeah, played through Moss. I started Neo up. On Switch, I'm kind of playing Bayonetta 1, but I'm kind of struggling through it. I kind of want to skip it to just go to 2. Mm-hmm. I've never played either of them before, but I heard 2 was so phenomenal, I just kind of want to skip it.
Is it? What's the thing about 1? It's just a product of its time, or
it's a product of its time. And I heard 2 just controls so much better and just feels so much better. And I'm still good to play. I mean, I think you're going back to like how do I find the time? Favorite website of mine, how long to beat, I think.
I know that one very well.
Yeah. It says it's like 10 hours long. I mean, the power of the Switch, playing on the commute is really nice. Just doing a mission on the way to work.
That's the one thing I wish that I had a little bit of a longer commute.
Yeah.
And, like, I could actually, like, be on a train so I don't have to worry about driving. So I can play my Switch, play my dying Vita.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.D. All right.
Yeah,
so Mike,
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Let's get into the segment where you bring a older GOG topic for us to discuss among ourselves.
Yes.
And the topic you brought is all the way back from episode 7. One of the first episodes of the Game Over Greggy show. And what is that topic?
It is music album that defines you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go ahead. What's the one that defines you?
That
says, this is Mike. This is me.
It's terrifying. I have 3.
Okay.
So the first one is from the band I mentioned earlier, Say Anything. They are my favorite band. It is their first, I mean, technically second, but their first actual record is A Real Boy. I remember coming home from high school one day, like 2005. And my routine was getting home, making some like Eggos or some shit because I was a broke high school kid who didn't want to spend money on real food. And then going into the living room and putting on Fuse and watching Steven's Untitled Rock Show. God, I miss Fuse so much.
I just missed the channels that actually played music.
Oh, wasn't it really great when MTV actually played music and stuff?
It was fantastic.
It was so good.
That's what I would do before school. I would put on MTV because it would just be music videos.
Just music videos. Dude, just a steady rotation of MTV, MTV2, VH1, and Fuse.
Yep.
Just see like, oh, what's this channel playing? Oh,
now it's just another Teen Mom.
Yep.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. Oh. But yeah, putting on Steven's Untitled Rock Show, and Steven's like, oh, we're gonna premiere this new video for this band, blah blah blah, and I'm like half paying attention because my Eggos are like so good or whatever. And
as they are,
dude, buttermilk Eggos. Yeah, man. And it's for probably their biggest song, Alive with the Glory of Love. This is the first time a music video, let alone a song, really hit me. I don't know if you've seen this video before, or if anybody who hasn't.
I'm sure. Is this the phone sex one?
No.
Okay.
That'd be hilarious if this was the one that defined my life.
Very true. I didn't think of that.
That is Wow, I Could Get Sexual Too.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
That's like their second biggest. That's like that was their breakout hit.
That's how like what them.
Yeah, that's what pushed them to the mainstream. But this music video, like on the surface, it's like really cute and cool and fun. It's the band playing in the woods and band playing in the woods. And there's kids in a summer camp, and they're trying to like escape the cabin to get to the bands just to watch them play and have a good time. But I quickly realized that the song was about lovers in the Holocaust, and these kids are trapped in a camp and they're trying to escape and get beyond fences to like live their life and have an amazing time. And that just blew my mind that a song could do that and have so much weight to it. Obviously, like, songs have done that before.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like, this is the first one that spoke to me so much, and I don't know why. Like, I growing up, I was always like interested in World War II and like the stories behind the Holocaust and just like how tragic things got, obviously.
Yeah.
But like just seeing like something so brutal and like taken to a sense that was so innocent, and like how one man can just like shift that perspective blew me away.
Yeah.
And, like, broke my heart and made me feel so happy and hopeful at the same time. And like I literally was glued to the TV for the 4 minutes or whatever. I turned off the TV, I walked down my obnoxiously steep hill down to the Tower Records, and I bought that album that day. And I walked back to my house, I put it in my stereo, I cranked it and laid on my floor and just listened to it front to back endlessly.
Yeah.
And I never had a record like, I don't know, just like
kind of grab you like that?
Just grab me and like totally break me and like make me feel empty but at the same time hopeful, and just contradict everything I knew about adolescence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that was like that was the nail in the coffin. That was like, no, I need to do music for a living. Like, I want to like try to make people feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, I could like volunteer at a shelter or whatever, or I could just make a really rad song to like hopefully impact somebody in this way. Like, obviously that's the dream.
Yeah.
Instead, I write dumb fucking promposals and shit.
Hey, the theme to this podcast is awesome. You did that.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
pretty cool.
Plug.
Yeah.
MikeTowndrow.com. Yeah, no, and that entire, like, my entire high school is just like that album. I mean, even to this day, the album is listened to at least once a week, front to back. There are times where I'll scream and sing it to myself and like play air guitar to it, or I'll just sit silently and just like really listen to the words. I'll really listen to the guitars, really listen to the drum tone. Mm-hmm. All of high school, like all my friends were hooked to that album, where we would crank it in the car and just blast it out the windows as we were leaving school.
Yeah.
That all, like, half of those songs were our warm-up songs for my first band's band practice. Seeing them at Warped Tour for the first time in 2008 and just like fucking picturing, like, always having an idea of what they looked like based on that music video and based on what I seen on TV. Mm-hmm. But seeing the actual like human version of themselves on stage, like expressing that raw emotion, feeling the vibrations of those waves just hitting you right in the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, going back to like the concert thing, I've seen a combination of the band and the lead singer Max playing solo over 50 times.
Wow.
Like, I've traveled to see them. I will never not see them. And every time I see them is like the first time seeing them again. And I don't know what it is about them. Like, even recently, like, their newest records aren't great, but no matter what he does and what he puts out, I fall in love with.
Absolutely.
And yeah. So in short, I have a massive man crush on him and that band.
That's awesome. That's how I feel about.
Yeah. What's yours?
I have two that I go back. One is we kind of alluded to earlier. It's Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. Much like what you did with the Say Anything album. Mm-hmm. When I heard Crawling for the first time.
Oh my god.
I was blown away by it, and I was that kid on the bus to and from school every day, listening to my CD player. Just leave me alone, because during the day I'd get bullied, pushed around.
Yeah.
Like, just escape for a little bit, and
yeah.
And Chester's words were so powerful, and that was the first time where listening to that album made me realize that music, like you said, could make you feel deeper emotions.
Yeah.
Which is something I was not aware of. Like, oh, it's a fun song to dance to, or to get
little boys
hyped up to before a basketball game, or
little elementary school boys don't know what emotions are.
No, they don't. They have no idea. So that's definitely one that I still listen to all the time. I remember before In the End got real big, I'd be like, guys, this song is awesome. Like,
no, guys,
trust me, this song's gonna be huge. And I'm sure everyone is probably tired of hearing it by now, but
yeah, I do that. I do that on a daily basis for like random little indie bands. Like, yo, Pup gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Yo, this little Canadian band. Yeah, no, check it out.
And then the other one that I love is The Killers, Hot Fuss.
Oh my god, it's so good.
That's another one of my dream go see them live.
Yep, right there with you.
That's another one where I didn't appreciate that album until I heard the theories of the whole album being like a guy killing somebody and being brought in to interrogate him about it.
Dude.
Like, that's super cool.
Like, people say some of the best storytelling is in like games and movies and stuff like that, but dude, the story that albums could tell, oh my god.
Yeah. I love if you don't know what that whole theory about the Hot Fuzz thing is, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to butcher it. I need you to look it up and read it yourself, because going back and listening to it's genius. It could not be true. It could just be a coincidence. But man, it's brilliant. Like, Jenny Was a Friend of Mine. That's basically him.
God.
It's basically him in the interrogation room with the cop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I love that album so much.
Something that like kind of related to the Killers, something that kind of breaks my heart nowadays is just like these massive, awesome bands kind of skewing more towards pop and just like not really nailing it. There are some bands that do it well, like 30 Seconds to Mars is doing it pretty decently. Like Panic at the Disco is doing it well, as opposed to like Fall Out Boy not doing it great. Yeah. And even the Killers' newest album, like it broke my heart.
After Sam's Town, which is their second one.
Yeah.
It didn't really click with me, but those two I love.
Those two are phenomenal. I think Humans was after that.
That sounds about right.
No, Day and Age, maybe? I don't know. Something like that.
I get those two confused.
I think it's... One of them's the song, one of them's the album name. I think it's Day and Age is the song, and Human is the... No, Day and Age is the album, Human is the song, the single.
In case you plan on listening to this podcast, like, every week, I'm terrible. I have an awful memory when it comes to, like, pop culture and media stuff.
Apparently I do, too, so it's fine.
So, like, if it sounds like I'm a moron, probably I am. The memory's awful here. Can confirm. There you go.
Can confirm. Yeah, after that, they kind of, like, fell apart, which is really heartbreaking, especially after this newest album. They took such a long break. I thought they were, like, kind of getting back to their roots. And then that first single came out, The Man. Oof, I don't know if you heard that song.
I haven't.
You should right after this.
Okay, well.
It's rough.
Oh, jeez.
My second one is Blink-182's self-titled or untitled, depending on how you look at it. 2003 record, so I was still... I can't do the math, but I was like, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever. That record was the first time, like, I knew Blink, and like, thanks to my brother. My brother is 15 years older than me.
Oh wow, that's a big gap.
Yeah, so I got a lot of my music stuff from him. Like he's the one that showed me like Chris Cornell and Audioslave and Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, stuff like that. And once in a while there was crossover to more like pop punk and punk rock and stuff. So he was the one that showed me Damn It for the first time. I keep getting the song and the album confused now, but Damn It and Dude Ranch. But the self-titled album, again, thanks to MTV or Fuse, just seeing the video for Feeling This for the first time. And back then, you're kind of guarded by, like, everything you consume. I mean, like, your parents are mostly, like, kind of, like, watching you, and, like, they don't want you to turn into, like, a serial killer, and, like... Yeah.
Unless you're like my mom and be like, hey, here's Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction on cassette. Because that was my jam when I was little.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I played every GTA upon release, starting with the first one. I don't think my parents knew what GTA was.
That's very true. So same with me.
Yeah. But, yeah, the Untitled record was the first, like, album that, like, I discovered on my own that really clicked with me. And that was the first time I've heard something so fun and like raunchy and like kind of like anarchy-ish or whatever. And again, going back to like the production roots of like why I do what I do for a living, that record is a perfect record between songwriting and production and just how everything sounds and mixed and mastered. And like actually listening to that for the first time on headphones and hearing all the little tricks and little secrets they put in there really influenced me to like learn how to properly mic a guitar, or going back to what I described earlier with the Costco drum kit, how to like fix that sketchy kind of situation. And like a lot of the first early stuff that I started doing in college when I started to like bring in freelance bands to not my studio, but my college's studio, just straight up like ripping off Blink-182 and like what they did on that record.
Yeah.
And just like keep listening, comparing what I recorded to what they recorded and trying to just mix and match within that same session.
Now, as a Blink fan,
yes,
I'm a fan of their music. I'm just not a huge fan. My favorite record that they put out is "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket."
Hell yeah, yeah.
Okay, I some people who are Blink fans tell me that I should be ashamed for saying that.
Why?
That's my favorite. They just, to them, these were kids in high school, not high school, college. They're like, that record is not as good as you remember it being.
No, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah, for me, I would listen to that one.
Yeah.
While I was reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
appropriate.
Yeah. So when I hear the songs like Roller Coaster, which is my favorite one on that CD.
Yeah. You picture the basilisk going on a roller coaster?
No, I picture Hermione and Harry going into the chamber. Like it's so vivid in my mind how I connect the music and the book together.
Yeah. So before the Untitled album, I knew of Blink thanks to like First Date and Rock Show off those records, or obviously All the Small Thing. What's My Age Again?
Yep.
But the Untitled record was the first time, especially like that age where I was in like 7th grade or whatever, that I was growing up. Like I didn't know what was going on with my body and like whatever. All that science. And like that album compared to what you hear on like First Date or whatever, it's that band growing up, and just like listening to that, like going into high school and like being confident and like not giving a shit about what this new group of people thought of me, and just kind of like standing up for myself, even though I was a quiet little freshman and all this is contradictory. It gave me a sense of confidence, and it gave me something to like kind of strive for. And yeah.
I have that with as a huge wrestling fan. I have that with certain wrestlers' entrance themes.
Yeah.
Like I would walk down the hallway with my headphones on and listen to like the Rock's theme in my ears. Be like, all right, come on, I dare you to say something about my weight. Go ahead, I dare you.
Do it.
I will rock bottom you through that table.
I had, God, I don't know when it was, but I had like Wrestling Intros Volume 3 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what those albums are called, but I distinctly remember having one.
There's one called A Forcible Entry, where they had real bands, not just the WWE inside studio make them, but real bands doing wrestlers' entrance themes.
That's sick.
Like, oh my god, I'm blanking on their name. But they did Chris Benoit's theme, and it was so good. Oh, I gotta look this up.
Do it.
This is the look up episode.
This is where I get Kyle angry because I haven't watched wrestling in 20 years.
That's fine. No worries.
Favorite wrestler was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Good choice.
Still is. My favorite match of his is when he fights Goldberg in The Longest Yard.
What was I gonna say? Oh, but I do that a lot with like not just the wrestlers' entrance themes, but every pay-per-view that would have a theme for it.
Yeah.
Or like a video package of a wrestler coming back. Those songs mean a lot to me, and I get emotional whenever I hear them. Like
because it's tying to something you love.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so like when do you remember Kurt Angle?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I worked at GameStop when he was the pre-order bonus.
Oh, the band I was thinking of was Our Lady Peace.
Oh, okay.
They did a wrestler's theme, and it's probably one of my favorites ever. But Kurt Angle broke his neck, and he went away for surgery, and we as fans didn't know if he was going to come back. And then when he healed up, they did like this hype up promo videos where they would use Coldplay's Clocks to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And see him like running up the stairs and rehabbing and his greatest moments, and just that song paired to that video will always be one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It brings me back to a time where I was an impressionable kid and be like, no, Kurt Angle, you need to come back. We need you. And I just love when music does that, where I can tie memories to it.
That, and there's just something to be said. Like, I mean, we've been really talking about music along with the visuals. There's something about music and music videos and like wrestling or some kind of visual that just ties it fucking perfectly. That just strikes that chord. Yeah. And just makes you want to like kick some ass.
Yeah. Even in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, it comes to mind.
Oh my god.
Uses it so well.
Dude, Cherry Bomb when they're suiting up. Oh.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yes.
And what was the one they used at the opening scene in Volume 2 with Groot dancing around?
Oh,
that one's a good one too.
Man, I forgot. Dude, we're so prepared. This is great.
I know.
This is awesome.
I should just stop saying things.
I bet every awkward pause you get 10 more subscribers.
Make it happen.
Do it. Prove us right. I forgot.
Yeah.
That soundtrack was not as good as the first one, which is kind of disappointing.
No, it wasn't.
It was good. It was really good, but
Yeah. Were there any other albums that you wanted to bring up, or like honorable mentions?
honorable mention is just one more is the first Gorillaz record.
Okay.
That was just because that was the first album I bought by myself at Tower Records, with my brother having my back because obviously I was too young to like get past the parental advisory stuff. So my first trip to Tower Records was Gorillaz self-titled, Dude Ranch by Blink, and Marshall Mathers LP.
Yep, I had that one.
And I have a distinct memory of cranking Clint Eastwood in my room on like this obnoxious stereo system that I had. And my father walking in when there was just like obscene cursing.
Yeah.
And just ripping the CD out of the stereo and taking it away. And I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
But then when I was rapping along and cursing, it kind of clicked.
Yeah.
So yeah. I've never seen that CD again.
You still don't have it?
No, I have no idea where it is.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, no idea.
All right. Well, that was a great topic, Mike. Thanks for bringing that in.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, thanks, Kind of Funny, for doing it in the first place.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
Speaking of Kind of Funny, I forgot to ask you, what brought you into the Kind of Funny universe? Like, what drew you in?
Oh, boredom.
Boredom?
No. So, I mean, I think like with a lot of us, we know Greg and Colin and all of them from the IGN days.
Yeah. So
I started listening to Beyond around like 250, maybe. It was around the time of the blackout because I remember the Kelly episode.
Yep.
God bless that episode.
It's I want to find it again, like on YouTube or something.
Yeah, me too. Oh, it's so good. So I was just following all the IGN stuff and like listening to Beyond and Unlocked and NBC Weekly, Game Scoop. And then with Kind of Funny specifically, and this is gonna get kind of real for a bit. Mm-hmm. They launched in January, and that specific January was when my father was like, I lost my father to cancer, and that was when we kind of knew it was it. It was just kind of a matter of time. Mm-hmm. So them leaving IGN and kind of like going off doing their own thing, it was just a nice distraction and escape from the real world. And like at that time, it was when I was working at GameStop, and like I know we like kind of were jokingly talking shit about the job. Mm-hmm. I was in a really dark place where like I graduated from school. Trying to get a job in music or audio or anything is like really hard. Mm-hmm. So like I kept like, aside from like the personal family stuff, I had another side of my brain saying like, you made a mistake. You wasted all that time and money. You are not going to make it in the music industry. You are not going to do shit in audio. You are not creative enough. You're not good enough. Mm-hmm. You're going to be at GameStop for the rest of your life. You're going to turn into that dickhead DM who made you stay here tonight until 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. Along with all the shit I'm dealing with at home, with my dad decaying, my mother crying on a daily basis, and like, ugh. So Kind of Funny launched, and like even that first initial morning show where they're just like describing everything, and it's like, or even that first trailer, like, hey, we left IGN, and just like being totally shocked and like heartbroken for a second, but then realizing that they're switching the Game Over Greggy channel to Kind of Funny, and like them just doubling down on the podcast on Game Over Greggy and like the eventual new content, and just having this group of people that really did fucking, before they even started calling like our community best friends, just really emphasizing that idea. Yeah. It was like having a group of friends with me every day. That's what I meant to get to with that point I was describing earlier. I was in that dark place, so I didn't really talk to anybody. Yeah. I really closed myself off. So having this group of friends to listen to and laugh with and bullshit around with for an hour a week, hour and a half a week, really meant a lot, especially with the morning show and stuff. And like,
it's definitely good to know. It was something good to know. Like every week they'll be there.
Exactly.
Or like now, every day, if I'm having a shitty day, I can put something on and I'm good.
They have your back no matter what, and that was just so fucking important. And then, sure enough, a month later, actually the anniversary just recently passed, like last week. Mm-hmm. My dad passed away. Mm-hmm. And that day is such a weird day because it was on I think it was on a Friday. I got my current job at the production center. So that Friday I went to go sign the paperwork to like make it official, and I was so stoked, so happy. And then I got a phone call from my mother saying, "You need to get here now."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And I didn't really process what that was. And then like 20 minutes later, sure enough, I get to the hospital and he's already gone. I go into the room by myself. I break the fuck down.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I do. I mean, at this point I do. Like, I got this incredible job, and it was just like such a weird, like, feeling guilty for being happy about the job, but like feeling selfish that my dad is like ruining that moment for me.
Yeah.
And like I've always had, like, when I was really young, my dad, like, he was my best friend, and then I love him to death. He was an incredible father growing up, like, not to take any of that away from him. But in my high school years, I found out a lot of stuff about him that like really kind of drove us apart. Not to go into any detail, but like he was a fuck up, especially with money. So just being like fucking angry and like, I don't know, I'm going long on this. I'm just like droning, but
that's fine.
Later that day, coming home to a new game over Greggy, and just like totally just locking myself in my bedroom and just laughing.
Yeah.
Laughing at a time that I didn't even like, I couldn't remember how to laugh if I like wanted to.
Exactly.
But they somehow were able to get that from me and like take all this shitty, like selfish, angry, fucking depressing feeling, emotion, whatever, away just for an hour and a half. You want to talk about Disney Princess Fuck List? Yes, let's fucking do it. Ariel, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, that's what Kind of Funny is to me, is just having that support system, having that backup, especially then starting to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And like actually fucking hanging out and talking.
Yep.
Especially going to KFL 2. That was my first. KFL 2 was such a monumental moment in my life because I was always terrified of flying. I eventually got over that going to like Chicago and stuff.
Yeah.
My first trip to Chicago, I took a 20-hour train ride. Never doing that shit again.
Jesus.
That was
Amtrak?
Yep.
Okay.
That'll scare you straight to getting on a fucking plane.
Yeah.
But I never been across the country before. I never thought I would ever make it to California because that was like, in my mind, that was such like a, like, if you make it in movies or business,
like
like
that,
yeah, like, no, there's no way I'm gonna make it to fucking California. You kidding me?
Yeah.
And then, sure as shit, just like taking the chance going to KFL 2, like, especially being, I've gotten better now. Especially, I mean, you've seen the meetups. I'm outgoing and whatnot. I'm usually not that way. So like going on a plane alone across the country for the first time, and just taking my shoes off and going onto what is now, thanks A-Rock, a nude beach. We could talk about that later if we want.
Yeah.
And just like the Pacific Ocean just hitting my feet, and like just looking to my right and seeing the Golden Gate Bridge, and like I break down again.
That was,
and it's like all thanks to these 4 fucking idiots in a bedroom.
That was something for me. KFL 3. It was the first time I've ever been on a plane in my entire life.
Damn.
As a 30-year-old, and seeing the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Brought an unexpected tear to my eye. I was not expecting being emotional seeing another ocean.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I've only seen half of the country, pretty much, and to experience that, it's something. It's hard to put into words for someone that doesn't experience it all the time.
Yeah, and it's like something so that could seem so small.
Yeah.
Because like people travel, that's a normal thing. People go on vacation. Like California is a fucking tourist spot.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. It was just like so grounding, if that's like a term I could fucking even describe that.
Yeah.
And then going beyond that, more like Kind of Funny related stuff to KFL 2, going to the first meetup at the food trucks, and then just stumbling upon this dude who's also alone, and then we just both started talking shit about. I think we were talking about shit about like a soccer game they were playing at the meetup. Like not really to us, it was just like another group there watching soccer, and just instantly connecting, and then finding another dude and instantly connecting with him, and like to this day, we had a group chat since KFL2, and we talk every single fucking day. Shout out to Matt and Jake.
Awesome.
And just like finding a new family.
Absolutely. Like, I give Kind of Funny a lot of credit for helping me through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I found out there was a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And when I joined that, then have a constant interaction with people who enjoyed the same stuff that I did.
Yeah.
Because my friends that I grew up with, they've all moved away. They're all married, having kids.
Yeah.
I'm the last one on the island. So...
yeah, you're pretty stranded out there.
Like, landlocked wise, like, I was alone.
Yeah.
And being able to jump in and talk to people who like Danganronpa and enjoy other Mets fans. Because I was the only Mets fan of my group of friends, pretty much. And
you're probably the only one in New York still, to be honest. But
shout out Catherine. What's up, Catherine?
Nah, Catherine doesn't know what she's talking about.
But just
Catherine has no taste.
Whoa, Catherine, don't let him talk about you like that.
Probably get smacked next meetup.
But yeah, I'll be doing that. Like, I was a super shy fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like, this to me is mind blowing that I'm sitting here on a computer with somebody else talking. So when I was just randomly like, hey, I actually want to meet some of these people in real life because I never thought I could afford to fly across the country. Or
hell yeah.
Or even go up to Boston for PAX East. Like, that blew my... I don't have that type of money. I'm struggling. So I was like, let's see if anyone's around here. And the first one I did was out here on the island. We had like 15 people show up. And I was like, wow. And that was for the Ninja Turtles movie. That was for the second Ninja Turtles movie.
The second one's a good film.
Yeah, I like it. It was way better.
Shout out to Krang.
Yeah, shout out to Krang.
Shout out to Krang, the homie.
So, yeah, and then I've just run with it since then, and it's something I look forward to.
You've been fucking killing it since
thanks,
then.
man.
So.
I appreciate it.
And Kelsey, I should probably give a shout out to Kelsey.
Yeah, what up, Kelsey? Yeah,
Kelsey?
For people who don't know, you and Kelsey met through Kind of Funny.
Yeah. Kelsey is my girlfriend for people.
If you've seen the promposal, at least if you haven't seen the promposal, you should.
Yeah, it's weird. The promposal. I guess you can watch it if you want to. That was more just for her, but Kelsey Lynn Lewis, who helps Kyle out with all the New York meetups. Yep. Mm-hmm. We met. I think we actually met sometime 2 years ago for around New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
This is back when I was in a really weird relationship. During that Comic Con specifically, it was that weekend was my third anniversary with my girlfriend at the time, while dealing with the fact that she was cheating on me and trying to keep her in my life, and just this weird fucked up weekend.
Yeah.
And she invited me to the meetup. I'm sure you were at the meetup and stuff, and just to hang out and have a good time. And I was not in the mood to interact with people, so I didn't. And that was that. We didn't talk since then. That was it. We stayed as Facebook friends, and we liked each other's shit throughout the year, whatever, normal civilization now, sadly. And then back in, God, when was the Mario Kart stuff?
That was last May.
Last May,
I think around Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it must have been April. Yeah, because they did the birthday stream, right, with Greg with Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that there was when Mario Kart launched, Greg was doing a lot of shit talking about being the best and blah blah blah. He's a fucking loser. So I've decided to throw my hat in the ring, and during my lunch break one day, I just wrote a song. I had an hour, so I wrote a song. I recorded it quickly, mixed it, and I sent it out to Greg. Essentially, just shit talking Greg and calling him out and challenging him. And it just so happened that Kelsey listened to that morning show, and she shot me a message. She was like, "Hey, this song is really cool, blah, blah, blah." It's like, "Hey, thanks." And we talked more and more and more. I eventually found out she was single, which I did not know. And being a little boy, I took advantage of that. And like we did that first meetup for Guardians. It was my first meetup. And just like seeing her at Penn Station with you and Joe. Side note, I miss Joe. Joe, where are you?
Yeah.
Come to the meetup, please. And just like seeing her talking to you and Joe and just like fucking clicking that like I knew this was it. Like I knew it was gonna be something special.
Yeah.
And then that was like the first time actually like interacting with each other in person, and like we were hanging out in that Five Guys, and Harry was like, "So are you a thing?" And then just us like super close to each other, just like, no, but probably.
Yeah, we spent the whole day together. I think we had a good turnout. That was like close to 20
that was a good turnout.
People.
Yeah.
And we went all the way to a bar that night, and
Yeah.
I remember you two sitting next to each other, and we didn't know what the situation was. And Harry kept going. Our another best friend, who I hope to get on the show eventually, Harry.
Yes. He's too busy catching Pokemon for this shit, though.
Yeah. he just kept asking, like, Kyle, do you know if they're a thing? I go, I have no idea. I just met Mike today. And
yeah.
But that's awesome.
But no, yeah, we like instantly clicked. Even after the movie, like you guys were like way ahead. We were just like slowly walking and talking. I grabbed her. This is sound really violent. I just like put that sentence in my head, and it's like sounds super fucking sketchy. But no, I just like I took her to the side, like in this like corner, and like kissed her for the first time, and then that kiss was like, yeah, no, this is how it's supposed to be. Like this is a genuinely good person in a community that I know are filled with genuinely good people.
Yeah.
And like, I guess sorry, Kelsey, if we're not really talking about this with other people. Like now, like not even a year. I think it's gonna be. I think Jesus Christ, I shouldn't say that. Our anniversary is May 13th. So almost a year, and we're already talking about like getting a place together and stuff. And like, I'm probably gonna end up with this girl, and it's all thanks to this group of 4 idiots in a bedroom talking about video games and fucking Disney princesses, and it's just weird how like this stuff worked out.
That's awesome.
Weird in the best way possible.
Yeah. That's why for Kind of Funny Prom, you guys are my king and queen vote.
Damn straight.
It's got to happen.
I mean, listeners, did anybody else write and record a badass song with like a really cool music video dancing as a fucking Pikachu and a Pac-Man?
Right?
No, I don't think so. So
Nobody
where's my crown?
Exactly.
Where's my crown?
Engrave it now.
Engrave it now. Snowbike Mike? No, sorry. I love you, Snowbike, but no.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And
yeah, just life's good, man.
Exactly.
I can't complain.
Exactly.
And it's thanks to you, it's thanks to Kelsey, it's thanks to the guys. Like, I can't complain.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with things to complain about nowadays, other than kids being annoying. But where's that coming from?
Below me, fucking scratching at me. Nah, you gotta give me a few. All right, you're gonna deal with the cat.
That's fine.
Whatever.
It's our audience.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the questions. We have 3 questions for you, Mike.
Okay.
They're all from the one and only Zyger, the first guest on the show.
Fantastic.
The first question, which we both said beforehand, is quite the question, Zyger. The question was: a strange, mysterious man approaches you. He presents you a button. For every time you push said button, you'll receive $1 million, in parentheses, tax-free dollars.
Okay.
But someone close to you dies. Do you push the button? And if so, how many times?
I have a couple questions.
Okay. What are your questions?
Let's set the playing field first.
Okay.
What is this man wearing?
That's where you went to?
Yeah. Is this like a dude in a nice suit and
no.
like
So
clean shaven? Like
what I pictured when I read that question was Slugworth from Willy
Dude,
Wonka.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, so that's what I pictured. So imagine Slugworth.
Okay. No, that was my only question. Slugworth answers all that.
Straight up, I would say no. I don't know if I could do that because it doesn't say
how close.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't say you pick the family member. I'm sure.
So is it? So no. Did he say family member or just somebody close?
Oh, close to you. Oh,
yeah, close to me. And is that like emotionally close or like proximity? Yeah.
Oh, this throws a wrench into my decision.
So proximity, I'll go up to somebody I fucking hate, and yeah, I'll hit it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As long as it's not at a meetup.
Yeah, no.
Don't.
I'll just go anywhere in Times Square. I'll hit that shit out of that button.
Okay.
But if it's close in the way he's probably talking about,
yeah.
Is it terrible that I'm actually thinking about it?
It's not terrible. I think it's terrible that he said, "How many times do you press it?"
That's true. So we know what his answer is.
How many times did you press it, Zyger? That's what I want to know.
I would hit it once.
One time?
Yeah.
That's respectable, but can you imagine the guilt that you would walk around with? Would you have any guilt?
But you know how much shit I go buy?
Fair point.
Fair point.
Second question from Zyger. Favorite type of milkshake?
Ooh. So.
Oh.
I recently brought you, or we brought each other, I don't know, fucking, our meetup was at Alamo Draft House recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was that your first time at Draft House? I forgot.
No, I went to the one in SF, but.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you order, by the way?
First time, nothing.
Okay.
Second time, I took a little bit of food from the person I was sitting next to. I didn't order anything on my own, other than a beer.
Stranger or somebody we knew?
No, a fellow best friend I was there with.
Okay. Just saying.
Yeah.
So Alamo Draft House has a hefty selection of milkshakes.
I was eyeing them.
Good call for just eyeing them because they're $15.
Oh, I didn't notice the price. Okay.
Yeah, no. But they have, for me personally, the chocolate chip cookie milkshake.
Ooh.
If I could have sex with a milkshake, I would have sex with that milkshake.
It's that damn good?
It's that damn good. It's just like, it's a vanilla shake, but with crushed chocolate chips in it, and chocolate chip, like actual chocolate chip cookies in it. And like once in a while, you get like just a chunk of a cookie, and it's just like, oh, I'm like literally drooling talking about it.
See,
oh, it's so good.
It's Lent for me right now, so I gave up sweets and soda. And you just saying the word chocolate chip is, it's making me itch. Like I need it. Like I'm getting the heroin addiction itch going on.
Dude, math rules. Sweets and sodas cancel each other out. You're good.
Oh fuck yes. All right, Mom, I'm going shopping.
Math over God.
And then Zyger's last question.
Wait, what's your milkshake?
Oh, straight up just chocolate. I'm a very basic man. I don't need anything.
From anywhere specific?
And this is gonna sound real corny. It's the McDonald's chocolate shake. You
can't
go wrong with it.
It's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I would go for. But I haven't had a milkshake in a long time.
We gotta change that.
Do you? Because I think I might be lactose intolerant, so I don't know if we want to test that out.
Matter. The only way to confirm it is to test it out.
All right.
All right.
As long as we're near a bathroom, I'm ready to go. So Zyger's last question is, what shampoo do you use, Mike?
For audio listeners, the only listeners, my head is shaved, so I use a Dollar Shave Club shaving cream.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you?
It depends. Whatever's in the shower.
Yeah. When I was little, I used to use L'Oreal for Kids.
Oh, with the little fish bottles?
The fish bottles, yeah.
Fuck yes,
no,
yeah.
No tears, no knots.
No tears. Get that watermelon?
Ooh. Oh my god, yeah.
That was the one to go to.
No Tears, No Knots is like my favorite emo song title. It's a fucking Fall Out Boy title.
That totally is.
Yeah.
But speaking of, why did you decide to shave it?
I was losing it.
You were losing just
yeah, just
get rid of it like a Band-Aid?
So what I was referencing earlier with my ex-girlfriend like being sketchy and cheating on me and stuff, it was a very stressful period in my life. Probably starting with that and all that stuff, transitioning to that, it started thinning out up top. I started getting a bald spot in the back, and then this past year, it just like kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Just get rid of it.
Let's do it.
It suits you, Mike.
Thank you. I've been hearing
great.
that a lot. Like people are like, no, you can't go back. This is you.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Good.
It's the same thing with Greg now with the beard.
I know. Oh my god, I can't imagine him without a beard.
No, he looks so good with it.
Oh, it's so good. I want to touch it. I bet it's as soft as Portillo.
I bet you it is.
But like, I shaved it back in December. Me and Kelsey were going to a holiday party at her job, and my plan was to shave it the night before or the morning before my flight to PSX, just so I could like go to California and then like kind of sneak away without any of my family seeing it.
Yeah.
Because no,
she knew.
go away.
Your cat knew that he did it.
He disapproves of it. But yeah, we had a holiday party the week before, so like going in the shower and just holding the trimmer and like shaking, like, am I gonna do this? And just turning it on, saying fuck it, and doing like an irreversible swivel.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I have to do it now.
Yeah.
And no, it turned out good.
I don't know if I could pull it off.
I think you can. If you
Really?
keep the beard, you can. The secret is the beard.
This thing is getting unruly, and I don't know what to do with it.
Get a trimmer. Or save it for prom. We go to Nick's beard guy.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta try to find that out.
Yeah.
Who that is.
Like, I know a bunch of the girls are planning to go get their hair done. We need.
Yeah,
to
I
go,
somehow
we need to go to
got
Nick's-
invited to that.
Oh, did you?
It's like a group thing, but I saw it was just like in there. I was like, all right,
Oh.
I guess.
So while they do that, we'll go and we'll round up a bunch of best friends. We're going to Nick's beard guy.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome. So Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming on. This was
Dude,
awesome.
like, seriously, this is such a. I mean, I've told you countless times. This
Yeah.
is such a fucking cool idea.
Yeah.
And like to be on the second episode, fuck you, Zyger, is such. It's like such an honor. And like even when you asked me to do the song, it was like, no, it was just so fun. I just love this idea, and it's gonna be super successful. And
Thank
I
you, man.
can't wait to listen to it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, Mike, where can they check you out?
God, so many places.
Yeah. I want them to hear your music.
So personally, you can follow me at Towndrow1214 on Twitter. That's TEEDRO 1214. Same with Instagram, but my more professional stuff, it's the easiest way to find me is MikeTowndrow.com. A lot of my personal like music is on there. A lot of my clientele work is on there. There is a link to my Instagram. One of my New Year's resolutions this year is to write and record just a video with my iPhone of a song a week. So I've been trying to keep that up. I'm on I think this week would be week 11. And it could be just like an original thing. It could be a cover. It could be a weird jam out thing with like a fucking drum pad, like whatever I feel like doing. I usually post that up on Saturdays, and then I throw it in the Kind of Funny Facebook group just to like show off what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. MikeTowndrow.com, TJ1214.
Sweet.
See me on the streets.
Yeah.
You know,
It-
I'll be at PAX East if anybody wants to hang out. I'll be at KF Prom if anybody wants to hang out.
as the
Come
king,
out. As the king.
you must kiss the ring finger. And
Wakanda
bow.
forever. Yes.
You can follow me at WhoDatNinja73 everywhere. Look for the man.
Who dat?
Man with the green beard. And you can follow this podcast on Twitter at BFS Talk Funny.
How difficult is that to say?
It takes a while because the whole title of the show is too long for Twitter. I wanted the full thing. The first episode should be live as we're recording this, or very soon.
Ooh.
It's YouTube only right now until I figure out how to do this whole podcast thing right and get it on iTunes and everywhere. So if you follow me, you'll know when you can listen on your favorite podcast service. And until next time, be kinder to one another. Bye.